everybody. I have got a big batch of hard-boiled eggs that I did a couple of days ago, and they are definitely good and chilled out now. So we are going to make some deviled eggs tonight. It is a wonderful little thing to take to family gatherings, potlucks, or if you like to have just an extra kind of fun, not everyday, ordinary protein snack around. Good for protein, low in carbs. Could be even lower, I suppose, if you use mayo instead of Miracle Whip, which is, I grew up with Miracle Whip, so there's 2 grams of carbs and a tablespoon. And honestly, I'm not really good about super duper measuring well when I make this stuff up, but there's probably not any more than maybe 2 tablespoons of Miracle Whip in this whole recipe. If you all have not boiled eggs and peeled them before, you can find my previous video on how to boil the eggs and get them just right. I try to keep a container for my shells because the shells are good for plants and stuff outdoors, add some nutrition back into the soil and whatnot. But one thing about our eggs in this batch that I have run into several times over, and here we are again. This is not a bad egg. Oh, see this black spot here? It's really not a bad egg. It's probably one of the ones that sat down at the bottom though. And it just is on the edge. Yeah, a little spot in it. It's one of those eggs, especially when you're dealing with homegrown eggs, sometimes they have a little spot in them. It's nothing that hurts you, but when you're trying to make them into deviled eggs or make them fancy, you probably don't want that unappetizing look to it. And because I just peeled that off and it's so thin here, now trying to make this egg pretty into a deviled egg one is not going to be so good. So I'm just going to try another one because I already have several peeled. But the other thing is, whenever it is that I'm dealing with hard-boiled eggs, I am really super picky. I am ridiculously picky about the little membrane. I'm going to see if I can get just a little piece of this off here so we can see it maybe. It's going to be hard to see. But if you can see this little piece here, that's called the membrane. And it's on the inside of the shell. And most of it will peel off really nicely with the shell. Most of it. But I do find that the membrane that's on the very bottom of the egg sometimes does not like to come off. And it doesn't hurt you at all to eat it. It would not hurt a thing. For me, although I don't like to think that I'm a texture girl, when it comes to this, I'm a texture girl. And I don't want to taste it. So what I'll do now is I'll feel this egg. And I am going to rinse it off before I put it over here too. I've already done that with the others. But I'm going to feel around. And if my fingers are not gliding smoothly over all of it, like I got to the bottom of this and now it's kind of stuck. Like it doesn't want to flow. So if it's not smooth sailing, it's probably because there's a little bit of a membrane there. And you can do it under the water or you can do it just like this. And if you just rub your finger around a little bit, that membrane will come right off. But it is a thing that, for me, it's a texture thing and I don't like it on my eggs. So I will kind of lose some time when I'm doing anything with my hard-boiled eggs to make sure I have that all off. And there goes some more of it. You can see that. So, like I said, it won't hurt you at all to eat it. It's not a big deal. But if you're like me and you don't like the membrane, then I say work to get it off. I'm going to rinse this egg off. And I will tell you a couple things. I must have lost my sweet spot with my eggs, honestly. Because if eggs are too fresh, it is really hard to get hard-boiled eggs that turn out well and that peel really well. Like this egg here is beautiful. There's hardly a blemish in it anywhere. Beautiful. And if I was going to a party, that's what I would be after. Now, not going to a party, and it doesn't matter to me, but this is some of the things that can happen. If you can see that uneven dent in here. I lost part of my white on this one. And again on this one, I lost part of the white on this one. So when I'm cutting these, I'm just going to try to do my best to leave as much of the egg white intact as I can. May or may not work, we'll see. And I suppose, like everything else out there, I'm sure that there is a fancy egg cutter and halfer doohickey mabobber somewhere. I just use a paring knife. And I use my hand. Yeah, I know. I'll be careful. But I just hold my egg and I just gently cut it in half. And I see this is one of my eggs that did not cool down quite as quickly as I'd like, because it is a little, I don't know what color you want to call it, around the edges, but it's not going to hurt anything. And now I'm just going to gently squeeze my egg till my egg yolk comes out. Ta-da! And I'm going to do this with all 10 of my eggs. And then we'll get mixing. So I was a little impatient the other day when I made my hard-boiled eggs. I can see that right now, because usually I get them cooled down quick enough that I don't have quite so much of the, I guess we'd call it a green color to the yolks. So that is one of the things, if you are really a stickler. Now, if this was not for just whoever at the office to eat, or for me to have a few here around the house because I'm the only one who eats them, I would probably look at these and go, oh man, I can't take these, I can't use them, I can't whatever. Or if I was really gonna, you know, try to impress my mother-in-law or something for the holidays, probably the ice water, or definitely making sure that your tap water is plenty cold before you start running your hard-boiled eggs under that water would be good. Most of the time the yolks pop right out, and sometimes you have to do a little bit of coaxing to get them out. Whatever it takes. See, now this one is a beautiful egg. Turned out beautiful, so don't ask me why. Some are gorgeous, some are not. It was the same pan. It could have been actually, that could have been part of my problem, is I did have an extra large pan of eggs the other day. I'd had eggs in the fridge for way too long, and so I decided I would cook a large pot. Okay, so this one is not quite as green as some of the others, but definitely not as beautiful as that last one either, so I don't know. There's a lot of things, I don't know. I just have to roll with it and move on down the road. Kind of slickery though, I will tell you that, so be careful when you're cutting that you don't get yourself. See? Another absolutely gorgeous one. Boop, as I try to turn the stove on, that we don't need for this particular event. Okay, now that was a little irritating. It's a good thing these are not for a party. Because, oh my goodness, because I just lost half of my egg yolk. Ooh, and then I threw the other half on the floor. Well, it'll be down half of the yolk, or half of an egg. Because my little puppy dog is sitting in the wings just waiting for me to give permission to come on in and grab that thing. He does love hard-boiled eggs. And this is another, didn't peel quite so pretty, but it'll work. One. Well, now that's quite interesting. I really could not even tell you what this is all about. It might have been a little bit of a membrane or something. Not membrane. Little something on the inside of the egg. But it does look a little funny to me, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. Oh my goodness. I have the easiest to turn on stove. I am so thankful. I do not have little children running around here. It turns on if I even just think about the stove for a minute. So I don't know what that little purple stuff is, but I'm just going to cut it out because it just doesn't look appetizing. My egg is fine. They smell fine. They look fine, except for that. Okay, let me wash my paws here. Go ahead, get it. Go ahead. The egg is right underneath me, and he knows he's not supposed to be in the kitchen when I'm cooking, but better him get the egg than me to step on it and then go sliding, I suppose. All right, well, while he finishes that up, so this is what our bowl of yolks look like right now. And I'm just going to take my fork and mash it up. And it doesn't have to be perfectly fine unless that's how you want it to be. For me, it doesn't matter if it's a little chunky, I don't mind. Probably don't want like a half or a quarter of a yolk in there because it's hard to get the mustard and Miracle Whip to mix in together if you don't have it somewhat crumpled. Sorry, that was loud. It's very quiet in my house tonight for a change, so that seemed extra loud to me. Okay. It'll break down even a little bit more when we start adding our mustard and Miracle Whip in. So that's kind of what it looks like now. So I'm going to start I guess it's going to be more than a tablespoon or two. Probably about like that on my spatula. Maybe a little bit more too. Okay. And make sure you shake your mustard up real good so you don't have all the juice from the mustard right off the bat. And I don't know, probably a tablespoon or two of mustard. So it looks about like so. And I'm going to mix for a minute and we'll see what we think. Don't want it too runny or it won't stay in the egg whites when you try to put them in. And before I'm finished, I'm also going to put in a couple of teaspoons of dill pickle juice. I don't actually put the dill pickles, although you could if you want to chop some up and put some in. A lot of people do. I just don't like my deviled eggs to be crunchy. Now, if I was making egg salad sandwiches with my hard-boiled eggs, I would be all over the chunks of dill pickle in there. I absolutely would. Now, I honestly don't know, and I cannot tell right now. Cannot honestly tell if I have too much mustard and I need a little bit more Miracle Whip in here, or it's just because I have homegrown eggs that this is so bright yellow. So we're gonna find out. See what we think here. Definitely has a bit of a tang. I think I'm going to add just a little dollop more of Miracle Whip. Salad dressing, if that's what you prefer to call it. Doesn't matter to me. Call it whatever you wish. That's about it. Stir this up. just use a spoon for my pickle juice. So I really am just taking this right out of my pickle jar. Two big spoonfuls of that. I don't know what it is about pickle juice. I also do that with my potato salad when I make it. I put some pickle juice in that too, and also chopped pickles in that too. And as you can see, I still have some lumps in here, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me that I have a few chunky monkeys. Okay, so to me, that's about the right balance. If you like it super mustardy, go ahead and add some more mustard in. For me, mustard's okay and definitely needed for this, but it's not my super favorite thing. So now I'm just gonna take this, and for me, because eggs are, you know, kind of small, it's easiest to work with a teaspoon. And I'm just gonna scrape it off into my eggs and fill up those whites, reminding myself that people need to actually be able to get a hold of them. Oof, like that one, I just got way too much in. So I'm gonna scoop some out, or I'll never be able to get it out without a big mess, myself or anybody else included. Actually got its neighbor too. You don't have to have a fancy dancy egg holder thing like this. I actually got it a few years ago when it seemed like we were doing potlucks a lot, and eggs at that time seemed to be very readily available, and this was an easy thing that I could whip together. And I got tired of trying to make it from point A to point B with slick eggs that like to slide off of plates or whatever other pan I had. And this was something that popped into my vision one day at Walmart. And I think I've only used it like 2 or maybe 3 times since then. So, you know, I actually threatened to give it away the other day, and then here I am using it. So, I don't know. Like I said, I am not the queen of thinking you have to have everything, every little kitchen gadget out there. Less is fine with me in the kitchen. There's a few other things I would like to probably have if I felt like I had lots of room and lots of money, but I have some friends who I think have every gadget out there underneath the sun and then some, and that's what they enjoy, and more power to them. Aren't we glad we don't all like the same things? And life would be a little boring. So I can already see, especially missing half of my egg, but that's not really why. I seem to always have more filling than I have eggs. So one of the things that I will do with my leftover filling that I have is I will probably like pop it on a piece of toast tomorrow. That's a pretty nice breakfast treat and a good way to use up the rest of this filling. There's not a lot in the scheme of things really, but enough I don't want to throw it out, and too much to get in my little eggshells and have it turn out okay. So it'll be like just enough for one piece of toast, and life will be good. Oh, doggone the stove. It must need me to cook tonight, which I guess is true because it's time for my kid to get home. And he will be hungry, I'm sure. Oh my goodness. Okay, now here's the other thing. I'll stop messing with these eggs. I didn't grow up with a fancy schmancy family. We always did things kind of plain. So truly, left to my own devices, I would be walking out the door with this to wherever it is I wanted to go. If you want things to be, my gracious, a little fancier, then you can take a little bit of your paprika. I don't care what flavor you use, because I think there's sweet paprika. This one happens to be smoked. You can do whatever you want to do. You could probably chop up some parsley. You could chop up some parsley if you wanted to, and make things a little fancier by putting a little parsley on too. For me and what I'm doing for right now, this is good. But like I said, holiday season is around the corner and parties are coming up, family get-togethers and get-togethers with friends. So you can do plain Jane, you can kick it up, switch your Miracle Whip for mayo if you'd rather. If you have one of the fancy food processors and or the knowledge or time to make your own mayo, feel free to do it that way, whatever you want to do. If you don't like just plain yellow mustard, if you like a fancier mustard and would rather do that, have fun with that too. Talk to you soon. Bye.